than the last deck that we did see. It doesn't mean that one is better or worse than the other. There's just comparing differences, that's all. A card that you're a big fan of, I know, Guest Verdict, you're going to find 2 of in the main deck here for Kyle. A Dismember, a Go for the Throat, 3 Sign in Bloods. Looking for the other reasons for the blue splash very quickly. I don't see a Diregraph Captain. I don't see... Okay, it looks like just 4 Phantasmal Images. And then 2 Phyrexian Metamorphosis, which will be a little bit easier to cast, and then he has a Disciple of Bolas, so...
On the right-hand side, we have Travis Carr, who's playing Blue-White Delver. He has Restoration Angel, Blade Splicer, so very solid anti-zombie threats. He has a main deck Timely Reinforcements and a second one in the sideboard on top of 3 Celestial Purges and 2 copies of Night of Glory, and 2 Grafdigger's Cages. So he's got a lot of action for the matchup.
Yes, he does. Now, we are in Game 3 right now, and it's pretty clear that Kyle was on the play first, and as you know, in this particular matchup, Zombies is a dog in the sideboarded games.
Yep.
And so it's very, very important for Game 3 for the Zombie deck to be on the play and try to steal it before the Blue-White Delver deck can assemble its resources, its Purges, its Timelies, its Knights, whatever.
And this is, again, not to keep harping on this, but this is another matchup where I do not like Blood Artist very much. Particularly in the post-board games, where they're basically trying to go over the top of you with Timelies, Purges, and that sort of stuff. And the game's not very attrition-y, or there's not a lot of blocking basically. So Blood Artist to me feels like a pretty inefficient threat, given what the blue-white deck is going to be trying to do.
As we see a tragic slip from Kyle, Blood Artist trigger is going to resolve, switching the life totals for 1 on each side, plus an attack with a Gravecrawler, and then a follow-up being
Diregraph.
The Diregraph. Cool. Now Patrick, Public Enemy #1 is in Travis's hand. Not sure if he has the 3rd land for it.
Yeah, I think he has a Glacial. Yeah, he has a Fortress. He does have a Purge to keep his head above water. But yeah, beyond being a gut-shottable 2-mana guy, I just don't think the way these games play out are such that Blood Artist is going to be like, oh, thank God I drew that guy. It's very, very rare.
We're going to see a Purge on a Blood Artist, so maybe that's not so bad. Purge taking care of the Blood Artist.
Sure. I probably would have, especially if he's going to follow up with Blade Splicer, I probably would rather just cast that on a Diregraph Cooler or Gravecrawler.
I think I also would have waited to see what my opponent's going to cast, because now there's Dross Messenger into play.
Yeah.
There was no reason to main phase that, is basically my point. As we see Messenger come in to play Drain Travis for 2. Travis is down to 11 at this point, and it looks like the first action, the first real spell that he's going to play this game, because the Purge didn't really do a ton, is going to be Blade Splicer.
Yeah.
And now it's going to become a question of, can these zombies be able to get through this Blade Splicer and the Golem token?
Yeah, the big question mark is just going to be if he has a kill spell for the Golem. That's... If he does, he's in very good shape, and if not, then this gets pretty sticky.
Because we do know also that Travis does have Phantasmal Image in his hand. It looks like, I think that card in front is Timely Reinforcements as well. So things are getting tough.
I'm surprised you wouldn't lead with Timely Reinforcements there if you had it.
Given how Blade Splicer affects the matchup, as you see this Metamorph copying a Dross Messenger, the way that Blade Splicer affects the matchup and the way that people view it is you cast the Blade Splicer against zombies, the game is over. Now, I'm not saying that you're incorrect, but this is the way that people view the matchup from the outside looking in is that's kind of what they think.
Right. It's well, yeah, imagine you cast Timely Reinforcements there's a huge risk here if something happened to that Golem token, if you had, a kill spell for it. Now this Alpha Strike is disastrous for Travis. He has nowhere to block, assuming that the Golem dies. If you cast Timely Reinforcements, what's he going to do? If he alphas, then it's you can put 2 guys in front of a Diregraph Ghoul, or 2 guys in front of a Messenger, and then 1 guy in front of Gravecrawler, or not, depending on how you feel.
Sure.
And your Blade Splicer is still left over.
Sure.
Your attack can't go bad. Given that this is the way the turn played out, this actually, I believe, works slightly better for Travis, but I think he took an unnecessary risk by doing this instead of just casting Timely Reinforcements.
Sure. And I believe Travis is going down to 2 after all of that. I'm not 100% positive. We'll get confirmation on life totals momentarily. But, this turn, to me, I feel like it's got to be Timely. Yeah, it's got to be Timely Reinforcements now. gaining him 6 life back.
Yep. Now I wonder if he's going to send his Bleed Splicer in or not.
It's a good question, as we're going to have we're going to have 3 soldier tokens coming into play. I mean, again,
there's no way you block, right? So you might as well ship.
I don't think there's no way that he doesn't block. Again, isn't this just a classic example of role assessment again of like there's no reason to get to try to deal the damage or whatever because you just want to not die.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're close to 0% to block with that Blade Splicer because the 3/3 first strikers were so much on this board.
Artiste.
Yeah, now I mean definitely no way you're blocking now.
I think that these are the I think I overall agree with you. Like, I don't love Blood Artist in this matchup just because like it's gut shotable. You know, like if it's your turn 2 play, it doesn't really add a lot to the board. But like there are certain situations like where you get into this situation where it is actually like pretty good. Now again, if like Travis had a gut shot for the Blood Artist, like this would be an absolute nightmare of a turn for Kyle. He happens to not have one right now, or you know he could have a land up for a Vapor Snag. So you know, like right now it happens to be good in the situation, but I definitely understand where you're coming from as well.
Or if he had just purged the messenger instead of firing it off on the first Blood Artist.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, certainly against timely reinforcements, Blood Artist is not a bad threat. Gives you some game there for sure.
Because now the blocking is just like pretty difficult. I mean, obviously the raise in Kyle's life total isn't irrelevant, but like obviously the damage half of Blood Artist is a big deal, and the blocks for Travis are what look to be pretty poor. I'm trying to think them out in my head right now of like what are his best options as far as blocks are concerned.
I mean, it has to be like basically Golem in front of Messenger, timely reinforcement token, chump block, let the Gravecrawler through, because Gravecrawler is just a push anyway.
And so
because he gets to recast it, like you're not prohibiting his development.
Sure. And so that's going to be, I mean, if he blocks like you say, it's going to be 2 from the Messenger, 1 from the Artist, that's 3, 4 from the token dying, 5, 6 damage. And it looks like he's going to block just as you did say. So that's going to come back.
Attention Magic players.
There's going to be a drain for 1, and then 2 more from the Messenger. The Soldier token is going to die, dealing a point of damage from the Blood Artist, and then 2 from the 2 from the Gravecrawler, which is going to knock Travis down to 2, and then it's going to knock him down to 3. Okay.
Yeah, now it's a minor thing, but like again, because the 3/3 first striker is so good on this board, I do think you're like 0% to block. Sure.
As we see another Gravecrawler from Travis.
Snag.
Okay, so a snag is going to make things. It doesn't make this game much different. We see a Phantasmal image that's going to copy the Blood Artist. Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we got some game now. If he goes for some sort of big alpha strike here, and his Blood Artist gets snagged, now then it actually gets pretty complicated, right?
Yes.
Or we can just draw another clone for a
Messenger. And he is it too. He's not.
Yeah, that's his game.
Travis is thinking things through. Is there anything that I can do to get myself out of this situation? I mean, you snag the original copy, Jarls Messenger. It's just going to copy the Metamorph copy. So.
Yep.
As he points to both of them. See, I've got 2, my friend. That's going to make it difficult for you to win. That looks to be it.
There it is.
Kyle Fuchko. Winner.
Yep.
Looks to be playing in top 8.
Yep. Very nicely
with
done.
Black Blue Zombies. So that's 2 copies of Black Blue Zombies in the top 8.